Welcome to Gattaca.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Service Management in the Movies. Today we're looking at one of my favorite films, Gattaca, to discuss a rather unique topic, one that's appropriate as we close out the year and prepare for 2026, the process of redefining or refining who you are. Gattaca was written and directed by Andrew Nicole and stars Ethan Hawke, Uma Thurman, and Jude Law. Gattaca is a film about one man's determination to become an astronaut in a future where everyone's position in society is predetermined by one's genetics.
A highly prestigious assignment, although for Jerome, selection was virtually guaranteed at birth. He's blessed with all the gifts required for such an undertaking, a genetic quotient second to none. No, there is truly nothing remarkable about the progress of Jerome Morrow, except that I am not Jerome Morrow.
So think about how you're perceived in your organization today. Do colleagues, other leaders, fellow team members see you as a confident leader, a skilled technician, a reliable partner? How about someone who can be trusted with a greater responsibility than your current role provides? And service management organizations were defined by a number of factors, some of which are our own choosing, some not. Individuals can find themselves boxed in by job titles, past mistakes, limited expectations, their own self-induced imposter syndrome, or simply a biased environment. People often find themselves negotiating against a narrative that they themselves didn't choose, and they feel trapped. The good news is that your identity is negotiable. It might not be easy, but with hard work and diligence, it certainly is doable. Today, we're going to outline a 6-step process that you can use to break free from existing constraints. This isn't also just a theoretical conversation for me. I've worked with teams and leaders who have redefined how they were viewed within their organization. And I myself am continually working to refine who I am and the value that I can provide. So lesson 1, you already have an image. The first step is to acknowledge, right or wrong, that people have an image of who you are and what you're capable of. Importantly, you have an image of who you are and what you're capable of. So in this scene, Vincent's parents are given his health expectancy and odds. At the start of life, he's told what he can and cannot aspire to. It's literally written on a piece of paper.
10 fingers, 10 toes, that's all that used to matter. Not now. Now, only seconds old, the exact time and cause of my death was already known.
So in a similar manner, we're categorized by our colleagues, leaders, and others as to who we are and what we can do. This is based on a very limited number of variables. If you don't believe me, think of a couple of colleagues from work. How much do you really know about them? Who they really are, what their aspirations are. You have your own perception of who you are and what you're capable of. Some, hopefully most, of these perceptions are going to be positive, and some are going to be negative, and some of them will be simply untrue. So right or wrong, whether you agree or not, you project an image to yourself and others, and this is your starting point. 2, examine your strengths and weaknesses. So this step is a tough one and is likely going to be somewhat uncomfortable, but it takes true self-awareness to make a successful transformation. Vincent is brutally honest about his own constraints, how he's perceived as an invalid, his heart condition, his height and eyesight, etc. And his strengths. He's intelligent, resilient, and disciplined.
So began the process of becoming Jerome. Myopia is one of the most obvious signs of a disadvantaged birth. Isn't there another way?
Surgery's no good. You'll see the scars.
So sit down in a quiet place, undisturbed preferably, and do an honest as you can, self-evaluation. What are your strengths? What are your areas in which you excel? What are your superpowers? And what are your weaknesses? Now, some of these are going to be easier to address than others, but the cool part is you are unlike anyone else. You're a unique individual with your own interesting collection of strengths and areas of opportunity, unlike anyone else. The purpose of this exercise here is to build a sense of self-awareness. This phase, should be independent of what you really want to aspire to become. True transformation starts with brutally honest personal inventory. Lesson 3. Decide and visualize who you will become. Your future identity begins with a decision, but more than that, this is not about simply identifying a role or a job description. This requires truly visualizing what you want to accomplish, what type of life you want to live, and what kind of person you want to become. The more frequently and detailed you visualize your future self and how you will interact with the world as the new you, the better. In this scene, Vincent is essentially caught daydreaming about his new world, new life.
How many launches are there in a day? A dozen?
Sometimes more.
You're the only one who watches every one of them. If you're going to pretend like you don't care, don't look up.
Vincent doesn't hope to be an astronaut. He decides he's going to become one. This is where his true transformation begins. It's one thing to say that you want to achieve an individual goal or objective, but few people actually take the time to systematically step through what that truly looks like. And if you recall, we discussed a similar approach when we talk about improving other aspects of service management. It's not just defining the goal, but the key is to truly visualize clearly and as often as possible what that looks like. For example, as a confident and trusted leader, how are you going to respond to questions, show up at meetings, interact with other colleagues? One way of looking at this is this. Vincent doesn't negotiate with others first, he negotiates with himself. He makes a personal declaration. This is who I'm going to become. So transformation becomes real the moment you stop making excuses, blaming yourself or others, and decide who you're truly going to become. 4. Surround yourself with allies and distance yourself from distractors or detractors. Changing your identity is not easy, especially at first. It's important to protect your newly formed identity from old narratives. You can do this by aligning with those who support you. In this scene, in a show of true trust, Vincent hands Irene a sample of his own hair so she can use it to find out who he, quote unquote, really is.
You couldn't see, could you? That night crossing the street. You crossed anyway.
If you're still interested, let me know.
Sorry. The wind caught it.
Jerome, or Eugene, Irene, and even the doctor become Vincent's silent allies. Personal transformation isn't just a solo effort, preferably, it requires a team. You're more likely to be successful when you have mentors, sponsors, advocates, people who see your potential, and people who are willing to open doors for you. On the other side of the coin, there will always be those people who are not comfortable with you changing who you are. Those individuals who reinforce your old identity. And this includes toxic or well-meaning friends, colleagues, managers. Actually, I recently saw an interview with the director Kevin Smith, and he had a great phrase: surround yourself with people who say why not instead of why. Actually, I'll include that link in the description. And there are a lot of people out there who find it easier to question why. Sometimes you don't escape the job, you escape a narrative. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and will support you in your cause.
You don't miss your flight, Vincent.
5, build a strategy and a plan. This includes concrete steps. So personal transformation succeeds through process, structure, and discipline. Near the beginning of the movie, Vincent meets up with an individual who provides tools and guidance on how to do so.
You serious about this? I hope you're not wasting my time.
No, I'd give 100%.
That'll get you halfway there.
It's a great line. Whether we're talking about an organization or an individual, transformation doesn't happen accidentally. Vincent follows routines. He studies obsessively, focuses on each detail, creates safeguards, stories, and then builds a plan that addresses each weakness and threat. So transforming yourself isn't magic. It requires strategy and a plan. 6, be relentlessly consistent. So commitment and consistency will always win over raw advantage. In this scene, Vincent's brother challenges Vincent to a swimming endurance contest, a contest that he had lost to Vincent many years prior.
How are you doing this, Vincent? How have you done any of this? We have to go back. It's too late for that. We're closer to the other side. What other side? You want to drown us both? You want to know how I did it? This is how I did it, Anton. I never saved anything for the swim back.
Vincent's entire transformation is made of small, relentless actions. So cleaning his skin, removing hair, constant workout, studying, practicing, routine and discipline, not glamorous, but consistent and constant and consistent. Knowing that at times you're going to fail, but when you do, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, adjust, and try again. And this is the core message of the movie. Relentlessly pursue your clearly defined objectives. So in the end, Vincent leaves Earth behind, but more importantly, he leaves behind a version of himself that the world tried to impose upon him. In leadership and growth, you don't find yourself, you build yourself. You negotiate your future with the choices you make, not the limitations you inherit. So in closing, Gattaca is an inspiring, very inspiring film that demonstrates how we can redefine who we are. We don't need to be constrained in our title, current position, or any other reason. But it does take planning and perseverance and a dedication to change. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, you might be interested in either of the videos linked to your screen. So how to manage stress in service management or how to successfully lead teams through change. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a fantastic new year. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.